Massachusetts-based firm waited 20 years for the FDA to approve its Aqua Advantage Atlantic salmon. Genetically modified fruits and vegetables have been on the market for more than 2 decades, but this is the first time a genetically engineered animal has been approved for food consumption. Aqua Bounty boasts that its species will be the most sustainable salmon in the world, mainly because it's been genetically engineered to grow twice as fast as non-GE farm-raised salmon. In order to make the species grow faster, Aqua Bounty has implanted a growth hormone gene from Chinook salmon and a gene from poutfish that basically turns that growth gene on. Together, these keep the salmon from turning off growth hormones when it gets cold outside, so they continue to grow. The FDA approval says Aqua Advantage salmon can only be raised in 2 specific facilities in Canada and Panama. It does not permit the breeding or raising of Aqua Advantage salmon in the United States, even though the product will be sold here. Consumers are now asking the big question: is it really safe to eat genetically engineered animals?
You know, there's always an implicit risk with the introduction of any new technology, any new medication, any new food stuff. You can never know, it's impossible to know what will happen 20 years in advance. All we can ask for is that the maximum safety standards and the utmost testing have been done at the moment, and that's what I'd be looking for before I was prepared to consume any food like this.
The FDA classifies GE animals as a drug when their rDNA has been altered and regulates them under the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act.
Every now and then, FDA has decided to pull the approval of a pharmaceutical simply because the benefit did not outweigh the downside effects of the drugs. The FDA is quite willing, however, and this is the good thing, to either put a label on a drug and say certain people should not use this if it turns out there are specific at-risk groups, and there are labels with big black boxes on them.
Currently, the FDA doesn't require GE sources to be labeled unless foods derived from them have a different nutritional profile than their non-GE counterparts. This type of labeling is merely voluntary. Currently, the FDA does not require GE sources to be labeled unless the foods derived from them have a different nutritional profile than their non-GE counterparts. This type of labeling is merely voluntary. Because the FDA says Aqua Advantage salmon has the same nutritional profile as non-GE salmon, companies don't have to tell consumers when they're selling genetically engineered animals. So in the future, consumers may unknowingly buy and consume salmon products just like this smoked salmon that could potentially end up being harmful in the long run. In Los Angeles, Brigida Santos, RT.